What up, y'all? The Knight of Green here with another video game review video. This time, I'm taking a look at Lords of the Fallen. Not gonna lie, as someone who is obsessed with From Software games like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, etc., I thought to pass the time while waiting for Elden Ring to come out, I would play some other games. As of right now, I'm taking a deep dive into the Shadow of Mordor and War series, so if you want content from me or you want me to stream it, I can do so. However, unfortunately, during this time, I also found what I will now call glitches of the Fallen. Don't get me wrong, I had fun with this game all the way through, but it was more so as a response to the hilarity that was going on. I could not imagine paying for this game at full price, and even then, the $3 that I did pay for it felt like a little bit too expensive for me. Anyway, onto the nitty-gritty about the game. I can't really tell you much about the story, to be honest, as I wasn't really paying attention to it. From what I can see, the story was largely about how the player, who was a freed character named Harkin, was going around fighting demonic entities to save humanity. Your actions, combat performance, and choices did affect the story rewards and what happens at the end. When you do beat the game, you receive a multi-layered cutscene that describes the impact that each of your key choices had on the world. Now for the gameplay. In all honesty, this game is very similar to Dark Souls to the point of it being called a clone. Weapons, armor, and shields are split into your typical classes based on weight, performance, movesets, etc. There are two magic systems, one tied to your starting class and one tied to your magic casting gauntlet. Both of these systems use the same resource of a recharging magic bar, and the combat system pretty much acts like how you would expect it to. However, it does have an interesting take on the Souls-like formula. For one, there is an experience multiplier system in which the more you defeat enemies without dying or resting at a checkpoint, the more XP you will receive. XP is used as currency in the game, as well as it can be used to increase your stats. The checkpoint system is radically different from Souls, as sitting at a checkpoint does not respawn enemies, but instead refreshes some of your healing items and resets the experience multiplier to its base. The only way to respawn enemies is to die or to travel to a different area. There's also a Rune System in which random mystery items can be dropped by enemies, which you need to appraise by the blacksmith. You can also sacrifice some experience in this process to increase the chances that a more powerful rune will be made. Each rune has different effects depending on where they are slotted in your gear. For example, a fire-based rune can drastically change the properties and behaviors of your spells, or it can increase your fire defense on armor and shields, or it could also give fire attack modifiers to your weapons. Also, a minor thing, but something to note, you can pause the game at any time to change your weapon loadout and build on the fly, so you can have the right tools needed to be successful in combat. There are also slow-mo kill cam moments, which can be cool at times. And the last thing that I really can say is different mechanically from Souls is the fact that when you two-hand or dual-wield a paired weapon, your shield can block attacks and projectiles that hit it, which is something that Elden Ring should take notes on. Now, onto my experience with the game. Well, all I can say is that it was an absolute mess. In theory, this game has some good things going for it, but there are a lot of things holding it back. The game is very buggy and crashes a lot. In my experience, I could not go through 30 minutes at any given time without encountering some minor or major glitch. The most common glitches I found were audio malfunctions, where dialogue and sound effects would randomly turn on and off. Most enemies and bosses are not really all that fun to fight due to the fact that Harkin swings his weapon slowly, while his enemies have hyper-fast and long-winded combos to boot. Enemy hitboxes are not programmed very well, so dodging and outspacing attacks often do not work, and a lot of moves can drain your stamina for no real reason. Archers are really annoying to deal with, as they have projectiles that travel ridiculously faster than you can react. As a result, I feel the game forces the player to engage fights by spamming the attack button with high damaging weapons while wearing heavy armor to trade hits with foes. The game then becomes an absolute joke when you discover the rage spell, which turns Harkin into a nigh unstoppable blender that can shred through enemies and bosses without a care in the world. This spell charges up very fast, as well as the game literally does not have an answer to counter this. The saving grace for this game was that it was relatively short, with only a handful of areas. There is some DLC to this game, but I have no interest in getting it, not after what I had learned when I played the Code Vein DLCs. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Please do not get this game, and you're not missing much. So yeah, see you with more videos in the future. I have a special coming up, so stay tuned for that, and remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Bye.